It was just an ordinary Thursday dinner, the kind we rarely had when everyone actually showed up. I'm 17, and Vanessa, my older sister at 22, was home from college. Mom had made her famous lasagna, and Dad was in a good mood asking about school and grades. Then, out of nowhere, Dad looked at me with a casual smile. "So, Kyle, is your allowance enough? Need me to bump it up a bit?" I looked up, puzzled. "What allowance?" The room suddenly went silent. Dad froze mid-forkful, his face draining from his usual tan to ghostly white in seconds. "Your monthly allowance," he said, voice taut. "The $420 I've been sending since freshman year?" My heart dropped. $420 a month? Dad, I've never gotten an allowance. Vanessa's eyes widened instantly, and she suddenly became fascinated with her water glass. Mom glanced between us, clearly confused. Dad jumped up so fast his chair scraped the floor. "Vanessa, kitchen, now!" What followed in the next half hour shattered everything. For 3 years, Dad had been Venmoing $420 monthly, $15,120 in total, into what he thought was my account. But Vanessa had set it up herself, creating a Venmo profile under my name with an old email I'd long abandoned and secretly pocketing the money. When Dad demanded to see her bank statements, Vanessa tried to play the victim. "I was going to tell you I needed it for college expenses." Dad pulled up her Instagram feed. Designer bags, weekend trips to Miami, bottle service at exclusive clubs. None of it screamed financial hardship. "You stole from your brother for 3 years," Dad said, voice trembling with anger. "While he was working part-time bagging groceries, you were living off money meant for him." Suddenly it clicked. All those times I'd asked Dad for school supplies or gas money, and he seemed annoyed, telling me to budget better. He thought I was recklessly spending $420 a month. Meanwhile, I was working 20 hours a week at minimum wage, scraping by, while Vanessa lived the influencer's life. I remembered last winter, when my work shoes had holes and I needed new ones. Dad sighed, saying, "What are you doing with your allowance?" He watched me wear those torn shoes another month until I could finally afford replacements. Vanessa was there that day and said nothing. Mom tried to calm everyone down, suggesting we discuss this rationally. Dad wasn't having it. She committed fraud against her own brother. Vanessa broke down crying, promising to pay me back and insisting it was a mistake that spiraled completely out of control. "I was scared to tell you," she whispered. Dad cut her off coldly. "You stopped it by spending my money. Every designer bag, every booked trip, it was your chance to stop for 3 years." He gave her 48 hours to move out of the apartment he'd been paying for, canceled her credit card on the spot, and cut all ties. I sat there with my lasagna growing cold, trying to process the betrayal. Vanessa had looked me in the eye for 3 years. We talked about money. She complained about being broke. I even bought her coffee with my grocery money. She stole from me and let me help her. The next day, Vanessa showed up at the house with suitcases and red eyes. She had already called relatives, spinning a story about Dad overreacting to a misunderstanding. But Dad sent everyone the Venmo receipts and her bank statements outlining exactly how she spent my money. No one bought her victim act. The craziest part? Dad offered to pay for my entire first year at community college, tuition, books, everything, as an apology for not being there when I needed him. Then he handed me a check, $16,700. That's $15,120 for what Vanessa took, plus an extra $1,580 covering interest and suffering, as Dad put it. Vanessa tried reaching out through mutual friends, claiming she'd hit rock bottom and begging for forgiveness because family. But you don't steal from your brother for 3 years and excuse it as a mistake. You don't watch him struggle at minimum wage while you party on his dime.